welcome to the deep dive. You sit over this really interesting set of materials, all sort of circling around this idea of feeling loved, something we all want,
Right,
obviously.
absolutely.
But what really jumped out at me was just how differently we all seem to, well, experience it and show it. It's almost like we're speaking different languages sometimes.
That's a great way to put it, actually. And, as the sources you sent highlight, this difference, this language barrier, it can cause real friction, can't it?
Hmm.
Even when everyone means well. You might be, showing love in your way, but if it's not their way,
It just doesn't land.
yeah.
Like trying to explain tech support in, I don't know, code to someone who only gets plain English.
Exactly. The intention's there, wanting to fix it, but the communication just breaks down.
Totally. And that's where this whole framework, the 5 love languages that kept coming up in the research, feels so useful.
Right.
We're going to dig into, let's see, words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. Basically, 5 pretty distinct ways people give and receive love.
And understanding these, as several of the pieces pointed out, it can be a real game changer for building stronger connections, I mean.
Like getting a secret decoder ring.
Kind of, yeah. For relationships, not just romantic ones either, but families, friendships. When you know what actually makes someone feel cared for, you connect differently, deeper.
Yeah, and the flip side, which some articles touched on, is the downside. When you're not speaking their language, even if you mean well.
Big downside.
It can make people feel ignored or misunderstood, maybe even unloved. It sounds like it could be the root of a lot of arguments, that feeling of disconnection.
Absolutely. So for our listeners, this deep dive into the materials you gathered, it's like, well, maybe like finding the secret code to the hearts of people you care about.
That's a nice way to think about it.
By getting these sort of fundamental ways we express and feel love, you can start showing you care in ways that genuinely hit home for them.
Okay, let's make this concrete. Think about the Miller family you put together from the examples. You've got mom always doing stuff for everyone, sounds like acts of service, maybe.
Could be, yeah.
Dad always saying great job or you're awesome, maybe words of affirmation.
Likely.
Then Sarah, the daughter, she loves getting those thoughtful little surprises,
Yeah.
receiving gifts, perhaps. And Tom, the son, he just wants that focus time, no phones, points towards quality time.
Yeah.
You can already see how they might be like missing each other sometimes,
Yeah.
even when they're trying to show love, right?
Precisely. So let's start with that first one, words of affirmation. This is all about hearing it, right? Hearing the care, the appreciation, the affection. For someone whose main language this is, spoken words just carry, well, a lot of weight, huge impact.
Right. One source mentioned the pain point, feeling like your efforts, or even just you, aren't noted if nobody says anything. Like pouring your heart into a school project, maybe.
Yeah, or a painting.
And then crickets. No word of praise. It must feel like all that effort just, poof, vanished.
It really can. But the flip side, the positive impact, is huge too. Hearing compliments. It boosts their self-esteem, their confidence, makes them feel genuinely valued.
Just simple things.
Simple things. I love you. Thanks so much for helping. Wow, you're really good at that. Incredibly affirming.
Yeah.
And did you know, for some people, hearing these words can actually lower their stress. It gives them security, validation.
It's interesting. But okay, the notes also mentioned downsides. If good words are so powerful, bad words must really sting them.
Oh, absolutely. Hurtful words, critical words, they can be really damaging. Hard to forget for someone who speaks this language.
Makes sense.
And similarly, if there's just silence, a lack of positive words, that can lead to insecurity, self-doubt. They might even think silence means you disapprove or don't care, even if that's not what you intend at all.
So what are the takeaways? How do we speak this language well?
Well, one big lesson, and this came up a few times in the sources, is being specific. Specific compliments are powerful.
Not just good job.
Right. More like, wow, that point you made in the meeting, I loved how you connected those ideas. It shows you were actually listening,
Okay.
valuing their specific contribution.
Okay. Specificity. What else?
Using words to build people up. Offer encouragement, maybe mention their strengths to others, give support when things are tough. And don't underestimate little notes or texts.
Like a quick thinking of you.
Exactly. A positive message can make a huge difference in their day.
Okay, back to the Millers. Sarah gets a B+ on a report card. Dad says, a B+ is good, which is fine, but...
But for Sarah, if words of affirmation is her thing, something more specific about her effort in, say, science, or how much she improved in math, That would have landed much better.
Made her feel really seen for the work she put in.
Precisely. It shows you notice the effort, not just the grade. Okay, so that's words of affirmation. Let's shift to the second one. Acts of service.
Right, where actions speak louder than words.
Exactly. For these folks, they feel most loved, most appreciated when you do things for them, helpful things.
Yeah, one article really hit on that pain point, the disconnect, when someone says, I love you a lot, but doesn't pitch in. Especially with shared stuff, like around the house.
Imagine your partner says they love you, but, consistently leaves all the chores, the errands to you.
The words start to feel kind of hollow, maybe, if the actions don't match.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
But when you do speak their acts of service language, the benefit is you're directly showing you care about their well-being. You want to lighten their load.
Take stress off them.
Hugely. Makes them feel supported. And it doesn't have to be huge things. Taking out the trash without being asked, making them tea when they look stressed, offering to run an errand they dread.
Those little things add up.
They really do. And what's interesting is for some, these acts literally feel like you're giving them back time and energy for stuff they actually enjoy.
Okay, but what if this language isn't spoken? What are the risks there? Your notes mention some negatives.
Yeah, a big risk is they start to feel like their needs, their time, their energy just don't matter to you, especially if they see like laziness or maybe promises to help that get broken.
Agreed. Broken promises are tough.
Very. And they might feel like they always have to ask for help instead of being offered. That can build up resentment, feeling taken for granted.
So if someone wants to get better at acts of service, key lessons.
Proactive help is huge. Don't wait to be asked. Look for ways to chip in, lighten their load, especially with shared stuff.
Be observant.
Exactly. Another really powerful thing, figure out tasks they really dislike doing and do them, even if you don't love them either.
So you're paying attention to what they hate.
It does.
Yeah.
It shows you're willing to go the extra mile. And lastly, reliability. This came up specifically. If you say you'll do something,
Yeah, do it.
you absolutely have to follow through. Dependability builds trust, shows you genuinely care through your actions.
Okay, back to the Millers. Mom, leaning towards acts of service. She probably felt way more loved when Sarah just pitched in with yard work, or Tom cleaned his room without being told.
More than dad just saying, I love you, while she's juggling 5 things.
Because those actions were concrete proof of care in her language.
Perfect example. Okay, ready for number 3. Receiving gifts.
Receiving gifts. Now, this one can sound materialistic, but the note stressed it's not really about that.
Right. It's crucial to get that distinction. It's not about the price tag. It's about the thought, the effort behind a tangible thing. That's what makes someone with this language feel seen, valued, remembered.
Yeah, there's that point about the pain, like getting a totally random last-minute gift from someone who's usually thoughtful. It feels like you weren't really on their mind when they picked it, like an afterthought.
Exactly. It implies a lack of real consideration. But when it's done well, the benefits are huge. A thoughtful gift is like a physical symbol of your affection, of the effort you put in.
Shows you know them.
Precisely. That you care enough to choose something specific for them. And even small things, little tokens that show you remembered their interests or something they needed. Big impact.
Like a little reminder they can see.
Yes, that's a key point for some time. These gifts become lasting reminders of your love, something tangible they can appreciate over time.
Okay, what are the pitfalls then? The risks with gifts?
Well, forgetting special occasions can really sting. Or giving gifts that just feel thoughtless, impersonal.
Like you don't really know them.
Yeah, if the gift is totally generic or just wrong for them, it can make them feel unknown. And just a complete lack of any physical tokens of affection can leave them feeling unappreciated, maybe even forgotten.
So lessons for giving gifts effectively.
Thoughtfulness is number 1. The best gifts show you are really paying attention. Their hobbies, interests, things they've mentioned wanting or needing.
So listening is key even for gift giving.
Absolutely. Also, small, unexpected gestures count a lot. Bringing home their favorite snack, a book by an author they like, even just a flower you saw. Simple, but powerful.
Doesn't have to be expensive.
Not at all. And finally, don't discount homemade gifts. The time and personal effort you put into making something yourself. That can communicate a really deep level of care.
We saw that shift with the Millers, right? Dad usually gave Sarah money. But then he noticed her drawing and got her those specific good quality art supplies.
Yes. That shift from generic cash to a thoughtful, specific gift tailored to her passion, that spoke her receiving gifts language loud and clear, made her feel really understood.
Totally. Okay, number 4, quality time.
Quality time. This one's all about undivided attention, shared experiences. It's not just being in the same room.
It's being present.
Exactly. Focused interaction.
And the pain point here, one article really hit this, is feeling unimportant when the person you're with is distracted.
Oh, yeah. The phone checker.
Right. Or half watching TV while you're trying to talk. It just makes you feel like what you're saying, or even just being together, doesn't really matter that much to them.
It really does diminish the connection, but the benefits of giving real quality time, huge. It makes the other person feel like a genuine priority.
Builds that connection.
Definitely. Fosters stronger emotional bonds through deeper talks, shared laughs, just experiencing something together. Even simple stuff like a meal with no phones or a walk where you actually listen that makes them feel deeply loved. And those moments create lasting memories. Strengthens the relationship over time.
What about the risks? The downsides, if quality time is someone's language and they're not getting it.
Well, feeling ignored because of distractions is the big one, but also hurt feelings from canceled plans or just feeling like the person is emotionally absent even when they're physically there.
That sounds lonely.
It can be incredibly lonely for someone who craves that focused attention even if they're surrounded by people.
So how do we give quality time effectively?
Rule 1. Ditch the distractions. Phone away, TV off. Consciously focus your attention on them.
Be intentional.
Very intentional. Plan dedicated time for shared activities. Doesn't have to be elaborate board games, coffee, just talking. It shows you value being with them. And maybe the most important, active listen.
Really hearing them.
Yes, make eye contact. Engage with what they're saying thoughtfully. Show you're tuned in.
And Tom, in the Miller story, that family game night,
Perfect example.
everyone put the phones away. They were just present with each other. And for Tom, needing that quality time, that felt incredibly loving, made him feel connected.
It really resonated with him. Okay, last one, number 5. Physical touch.
Physical touch. So this is about feeling connected through, well, appropriate physical affection.
Right. It's a really powerful nonverbal channel for communicating care, security.
And the pain point example was good.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's sad, needs a hug, but just gets words.
Mm-hmm.
The words might be nice, but if touch is your language, that lack of physical comfort can leave you feeling distant, unsupported maybe.
Precisely. Because the benefit of speaking this language is that appropriate touch, it can literally release endorphins, create feelings of safety, security, love. It's fundamental communication, reassurance, bonding.
So it actually changes brain chemistry.
It can. Even brief, non-sexual touch can demonstrably reduce anxiety and boost well-being for people who value it. It's quite remarkable.
But the notes also flag some important cautions here. Risks.
Yeah, definitely need to be mindful. For someone who needs touch, a lack of it can absolutely lead to feeling distant, unloved. But on the other hand,
Unwanted touch is bad.
very bad. Or just being insensitive to personal space, comfort levels. That can really damage things. So attunement is key. What feels right and welcome to them. They might also read a lack of touch as disapproval or distance, even if you don't mean it that way.
So key lessons for speaking physical touch well.
Don't underestimate simple, appropriate affection. Hugs, holding hands, a touch on the arm, a high five. These things matter.
If they're welcome.
Crucially, if they're welcome. You have to be mindful of their comfort levels, their cues, pay attention. And sometimes, just being physically present, just being near them when they're having a hard time can be incredibly comforting. It conveys support without even needing specific contact, just proximity.
And we saw that little shift with Miller's too. Dad wasn't naturally touchy-feely,
Right.
but he started making an effort with Tom high fives after soccer, a pat on the back for chores, recognizing Tom needed that physical connection.
Exactly. It was a conscious effort to speak Tom's language. And, as we've seen through all these examples in the Miller family's transformation, understanding and actually using these languages, it makes a real difference.
Yeah, Mom felt valued when Dad helped out. Dad felt appreciated when Sarah gave specific praise. Sarah felt understood with that thoughtful gift. Tom felt prioritized with the focused time, and they all felt more connected with those little touches.
It creates this positive cycle.
So for everyone listening, how do they take this and actually use it? In their own families, friendships, whatever. We pulled out 5 actionable steps for the materials. First, be a detective.
I like that. Relationship detective.
Yeah. Watch how people you care about show you love. Often how they give love is a clue to how they like to receive it. And also, listen to what they complain about. What's missing often points right to their primary language.
That's a great tip. Okay, second, maybe take a quiz. Several sources mention the online ones, like on 5lovelanguages.com from Dr. Chapman's work.
Can give you insights into yourself, too.
Definitely. And into others. Could be fun to do together, even.
Third, talk about it. Maybe have a family meeting or just a chat with friends. Discuss the 5 languages. Ask what resonates most with each person. Brainstorm easy ways to speak each other's language more often.
Open communication helps so much. Fourth, maybe make a visual aid, like a little love language chart or list.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, just jot down each person's main language and a couple of easy, specific ways to express it. Just a reminder for daily life.
Good idea. And finally, number 5. Practice makes perfect. Or, well, better anyway.
Ha! Yes. Like learning any language, right?
Exactly. It takes conscious, consistent effort. You won't be fluent overnight. Just try each day to show love in ways that you know will actually connect with the people you care about. Small, steady actions add up.
They really do, and it's worth remembering, as the sources suggested, this isn't just for partners or family. Understanding these languages can make friendships stronger, make you a better teammate at work eventually. It just helps build better connections everywhere, leading to a, well, happier life.
Definitely. So here's a final thought to chew on, something that really came through. Love isn't just this passive thing that happens to us. It's also an active choice we make.
That's powerful.
And learning to understand and then intentionally speak someone else's unique language of love. That's a really powerful way to choose to show you care, isn't it? To build those stronger, more fulfilling relationships. So maybe think about that. How can you actively choose to speak their language more often? Welcome to the deep dive. You sit over this really interesting set of materials, all sort of circling around this idea of feeling loved, something we all want, obviously.
Right, absolutely.
But what really jumped out at me was just how differently we all seem to, well, experience it and show it. It's almost like we're speaking different languages sometimes.
That's a great way to put it, actually. And, as the sources you said highlight, this difference, this language barrier, it can cause real friction, can't it? Even when everyone means well. You might be, showing love in your way, but if it's not their way...
It just doesn't land.
Yeah.
Like trying to explain tech support in, I don't know, code to someone who only gets plain English.
Exactly. The intention's there, wanting to fix it, but the communication just breaks down.
Totally. And that's where this whole framework, the 5 love languages that kept coming up in the research, feels so useful.
Right.
We're going to dig into, let's see, words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. Basically, 5 pretty distinct ways people give and receive love.
And understanding these, as several of the pieces pointed out, it can be a real game changer for building stronger connections, I mean.
Like getting a secret decoder ring.
Kind of, yeah. For relationships, not just romantic ones either, but families, friendships. When you know what actually makes someone feel cared for, you connect differently, deeper.
Yeah, and the flip side, which some articles touched on, is the downside. When you're not speaking their language, even if you mean well.
Big downside.
It can make people feel ignored or misunderstood, maybe even unloved. It sounds like it could be the root of a lot of arguments, that feeling of disconnection.
Absolutely. So for our listeners, this deep dive into the materials you gathered, it's like